What's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. Like, subscribe, share. You know, all that stuff kind of helps the channel. So, just thinking about what I was going to talk to you guys about today. And I think I want to start with some channel news. So, 319 subscribers right now, and that is, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. I started this journey back in July of last year when I started creating content on a fairly regular basis. Really, I created the channel just to have a place to catalog and share with friends and family the adventures that me and some of my buddies take on our motorcycles. Specifically David and Juan are the guys I do most of my travel with, but also, you know, from time to time show them group rides, whatever, you know, other people that I meet in the community. But yeah, that's why I started the channel. And as I was putting together the content from the California trip and releasing that last year, I realized I kind of dug it. I really didn't have a creative outlet, I guess is where I was going with it. And I never really thought that I needed one until I started producing content for this channel. That's when it clicked with me that, hey, this might have been the thing that's been missing all along, and now I can do it. So that's why I started the channel. And when I started it back in July, I had 4 subscribers. And don't get me wrong, guys. I'm very grateful for those 4 people that were the initial subscribers on the channel that had been there since 2017, when I wasn't producing anything. Also had very few views, of course, because I wasn't putting any content out. As of today, and I don't check it that often, but every once in a while I'll look at it. As of today, the channel has 319 subscribers. I've got over 4,000 hours where people have viewed my content. And I think I'm up around 83,000 total views on all my videos at this point. So, yeah, I mean, I never would have expected in a million years when I started doing this back in July, never in a million, you had told me this is where I would be, 11 months later. I'd have told you you're crazy and there's no way it's going to happen. And yet, here we are. So yeah, thank you guys. I'm on my way to go train, by the way. That's where I'm heading tonight. I figured I'd take the bike, even though they're calling for thunderstorms about 20 minutes after my training's supposed to be finished. So I'm hoping, and fingers are crossed, that I don't get stuck in shitty weather. We'll find out, though. If I do, it won't be the first time. It certainly won't be the last. And, I'll just ride through it, deal with it. Bike's pretty dirty anyway. Oh, the bike. Tomorrow, I get to go to Open Road Cycles because they are going to install my new tires for me. Ended up going with the Metzler Cruise Techs. For all of you that commented in previous videos when I asked the question to give me your input, thank you for the input that you gave me. I took it all under consideration, and then I made my decision. So I'm going with the Metzler Cruise Techs. Really, really interested in seeing how the bike rides after I put those tires on it. David swears to me that I'll be able to tell the difference, that it's like almost night and day. So I'm hoping that I can. But yeah, the bike's going to go there tomorrow, get the tires changed. AJ was able to schedule me so that I could get in there and wait for the motorcycle instead of dropping it off. And 'cause that's what I prefer to do. I prefer to not be without my motorcycle in case I want to use it for transportation and such. But needed the new tires. That's one of the things I can check off the list before we go to Nova Scotia. Still got to change the spark plugs. So that's a fairly easy job, and I'll do that. I'll do that at some point in the future. That's something I can do pretty much on any Saturday, as long as I, run gas out of the tank. It's nothing shittier than pulling a gas tank when it's full of gas. But yeah, so that's happening tomorrow. I'm getting the new tires on. Right now, the whole reason I'm recording this video tonight, quite frankly, guys, is because I'm going out of town this coming weekend. Normally, I record my videos over the weekend. If I can't get them done like during the week, I do them over the weekend, and that gives me time. Usually on Saturday, I record them. That gives me time Sunday to do all the editing, post-production, and all that stuff. And by Monday night, I'm done with the editing, and I'm pushing it up to YouTube, scheduling it for release on Tuesday morning. But this week, I've got to go home. And what I mean by home is I've got to go back to my hometown in Virginia. I've got some family stuff I've got to deal with there. Nothing life-shattering or, all that dramatic. I just have some stuff I need to be there for my mom on Monday. So I'm going to go up there this weekend. Thinking about riding the bike up because, well, for no other reason, I have never ridden my bike to my hometown. And I kind of want to do it. So I grew up in a cool place. It's not the best riding because, it's pretty much waterlogged, I guess is a good way to put it. That'd be the way I would describe it. There's water everywhere. So there aren't a lot of mountains. There are hardly any mountains. And there are not a lot of curves. So most of the roads are straight. So it's just not the most fun riding, but as I've never had my bike up there, I think it'd be kind of cool to ride it up to Virginia and, ride around my hometown on it. So I'm going up there this weekend, and I don't know yet whether I'm taking the bike or taking the car. I'm making that call as I get closer to the weekend.
So, funny thing, turns out the bike made the decision for me about riding it up to my hometown this weekend. Because I came out Friday night from work, at the bar that I work at, and went to start the motorcycle. And when I went to start it, I found out that the rear cylinder wasn't firing anymore. Here, I'll let you hear it. That's not good. And so Saturday, David was coming over here to meet me to ride. I got up in the morning, I came downstairs, I started the bike up, and it was still doing the same thing it was doing. So I called David and told him don't worry about coming up here. I wasn't going to be able to ride today. Wasn't going to be able to get to Virginia on the bike this weekend at all. And I would... instead, I was going to try and see if I could diagnose it, figure out what was wrong. So I know I told you guys that, well, you all know I needed to replace the plugs. So that's where I started. I ripped the tank off. I replaced the spark plugs. Let me let you see them. Hopefully you'll be able to see them. They for sure are fouled. I did not keep track of which ones came out of the rear and which ones came out of the front because honestly, I was trying to resolve the problem as quickly as I could or figure out if it was going to be a simple fix or if it was going to be a shit, I'm screwed fix. Then contacted AJ over at Open Road Cycles and asked him, told him what the problem was, or what I was experiencing. He made a couple of suggestions, because when I called him while I was up in Virginia doing what I needed to do there. So he made a couple of suggestions for when I got back, and when I got back, it's too nasty for me to try any of it right now. But ultimately, the idea is, well, I should back up a second. The bike is throwing an error code. That error code is P0264. And according to the Google search that I did, that error code means that the power control module, part of the ECM, it's an ECM error, by the way. It's not getting the right voltage from the fuel injector for the rear cylinder, is basically what that error code means. Searched YouTube, looked for information from, everybody that I could find. Found a really good video by Doc Harley. If you guys don't watch him, you should check him out. Doc Harley, he's out of Low Country Harley Davidson in South Carolina. Master Tech there, and he does a lot of good information on YouTube where he tells guys like you and me, or girls, if you're watching the channel. Hope you are. It'd be cool if some more girls were riding. But yeah, so he mentioned that there's a corrosion that happens inside of some of these connectors. Basically, the idea is there's vibrations when you're riding. There's vibrations when the motor's running. These connectors, while they're waterproof, you still have metal rubbing on metal when it's vibrating. And over time, that vibration will wear down the thickness of the metal on the pin and basically make it so that it's not really making a good connection. So AJ, I called him, told him what was going on, and he said, if I could get the gas can off, if I could take the tank off again and get to the actual the wiring that goes to the fuel injector, and you're not going to be able to see it. I'll turn my light on my phone, and hopefully that will make it a little more visible, but I doubt it will. So the injector wire, you can see the one for the front right there. It's that guy with the little gray button on it. And the wires that you can see coming out. That's for the front cylinder. There's another one exactly like it for the rear. And so AJ was like, well, if you can get to that, you can, run it to the other end and then unplug it from the computer, and I can do a continuity check with a multimeter on, there's the thunderstorm. Actually, it's a tornado warning now. But I could basically check to see pin for pin from one end of the wire to the other, is there continuity? Meaning the wires aren't open or broken. It could be that the injector has gone bad. It could be that there's something wrong with the wiring. I won't know until I get into it, or more importantly, AJ won't know until he gets into it, because I'm probably at the point where I'm going to have David come over with a trailer. I've got a window this week on, Wednesday. Today's Monday. I just got home from Virginia. David's got a trailer, and he can haul my bike over to Open Road Cycles, and I can drop it off with them and let them see, if they can figure out what the problem is. Because the reality is, the only thing I'm basing it off of that this cylinder is not firing is it does not get hot. If I turn the bike on and let it run, no part of this cylinder ever gets warm, except for the part that's closest to the front cylinder, which is doing all the work. And the front cylinder does get warm. That means there's no fuel going in there. or there's no spark and there's fuel and air, or there's no air getting there. So, I mean, it's a pretty simple equation, right? I think it is. You got fire, you got air, and you got fuel. The three of those combined cause the explosion, cause the combustion, right? The internal combustion engine moves the piston. And for those of you that are watching the channel that have, you know, an M8 motor, it has that temperature management system thing in it that you can turn on and off that basically shuts the rear cylinder off when you're sitting still and not moving and the bike's over a certain temperature and the temperature around the bike is over a certain amount. It shuts that cylinder off, basically turns it into a big air pump to cool the bike down. That's what it sounds like it's doing. I used to have that turned on mine, or it came from the factory turned on. I shut it off because I didn't like it. Cheers, by the way. So I'm assuming that the problem is with something to do directly with that cylinder, specifically with the fuel management getting to it, etc. It's possible that there's something else completely different that's wrong with the bike, which is why, you know, I want to take it to AJ. The good news is when I described to AJ what the problem was, he came back saying he thought it was the same. His thought went to the same place that my brain went. So that kind of made me feel good, honestly. So yeah, decision was made for me. The bike did not make it to Virginia. It still has not been to my hometown. And I guess she just didn't want to go. Now, for those of you that have not done it before or don't know how to do it, I'm going to show you how to access the diagnostic mode on all of the touring models that have the Milwaukee 8 engine in them. All right, it's really, I'm not kidding, guys, it's extremely simple. What you do is you hold this switch down at the same time you turn that one to ignition. If you do that, the bike will go into diagnostic mode. And sorry for the camera angle, but it's going to get screwy or shitty for a second. Right there, I just did it, and you'll see now it's in diagnostic mode on the tack part, or you know, the odometer part of your speedo. And when you cycle through it, see how it has that ECM? Yes, that means there is an error for the ECM. There's no error for the BCM. There's no error for the speedo. There's no error for the ABS. So the only one that has an error is the ECM. So, and all I'm doing to cycle through those is just click this. If you click it once, it goes there. Click it again, it goes there. Click it again, it goes there. Click it again, it goes back to the beginning. Now, the way you see what the error code is you hold this button down while it's on the one that has the Y on it. So if I hold it down, there's the error code, P0264. And if you click it again, it tells you what part number it's associated with. Now, the other thing you can do for those of you that, you know, if you end up having your check engine light pop on you, right? One of the things you can do is clear the error when you're in this diagnostic mode. You can actually clear the error, make it go away. And then if it comes back, you know you have a real problem, because a lot of these errors are, and I understand this because of my actual job or jobs that I've had in the past that have nothing to do with motorcycles, that have to do with electronics. The computer has tolerances for when it needs to receive certain inputs, I guess is a good way to put it or describe it. If you're off, if that input doesn't come in that tolerance, and when I say tolerance, we're talking milliseconds, dude. We're not talking, you know, 20 minutes. It has to get these signals to it quickly. So you don't know whether you've got a real error or whether it was just a hiccup when you started the bike. But yeah, that's how you enter diagnostic mode, in case you didn't know. And there's a boatload of videos out there on YouTube that other guys that are much smarter than me have already done that do that, but I figured, hell, I'm out here, I might as well show it to you. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. Darla freaking gave up on me, basically, is what she did. So, in any case, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell, share with your friends. Seriously, all of you that have subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. It astounds me. It really does. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yeah, I do have a motorcycle calendar in the garage with, you know, scantily clad women on it. I will keep you up to date on this. This is not going to be something that I let fall by the wayside. You guys are going to know what's going on with this. So always ride safe.
Yeah, ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ah. Asshole.